I wanted to ask you today, why did you choose network marketing for LifeWave?
I originally was opposed to network marketing. And most people that start network marketing companies have some type of history in the business, and I didn't. I actually hadn't had a good experience with it. I was with, I had gone to college, and a friend of mine said to me, "Hey, I'm going to this meeting, and why don't you come with me? It could be fun." I said, "All right, sure." And it was a meeting for a water filter company. I'm going back many years now. And so they were trying to get me to join this thing, and I was asking all kinds of technical questions about their water filter that they couldn't answer, and so I didn't end up joining. But that's, I think, how I thought of network marketing. And so back in 2002, when I started LifeWave, I had been thinking about putting the patches into a retail store like GNC, or doing radio advertising or TV advertising. I actually had approached GNC and I had a deal with them, but I eventually turned that down in favor of starting the network. I thought about putting it on an infomercial and doing it, advertising it that way. So during those first 2 years of 2002, 2004, in addition to setting up manufacturing, doing studies, exploring how to possibly market this new technology. And I had the experience where I had spoken with a business friend about the patches. He took it to someone, then took it to someone else. That got it to a medical doctor in Texas, who got it to a medical doctor in California, who got it to Coach Richard Quick at Stanford University. And then Richard was an amazing, amazing human being. And we put patches on his Olympic swimmers and got amazing results. That all happened because of networking. And then it started to become obvious to me that this was going to be the path forward. So I reluctantly decided to go the direction, and it's been incredible ever since.
When you first approach someone with this product and you explain to them that it's a patch the size of a postage stamp that they put on their body and has all these profound impacts, it takes them a while. You have to nurture the relationship. And there is a certain amount of faith that goes into trying it that I haven't seen. Patients come to me as a functional integrative medicine doctor expecting supplements. And so they don't think anything of, well, this supplement is $100. This one's $200. This one's $300. The next thing I know, the patients are on $1,000 worth of supplements, right? We try to keep it below that because we don't find people get the best results on the most supplements. But it takes some time to really educate people about this. And so I can see why it's working, because once people understand the value, it's a no-brainer to go ahead and add this to whatever else they're doing for their health and their wellness, or frankly, to replace a lot of what they're doing with this, because I have patients all the time who they're tired of taking supplements. The supplements are not working. We pivot to the patches. We get better results faster and more sustainably over the long haul. So my next question for you is, what's your vision for the impact that the company is going to have around the world in the coming years?
We are looking to form relationships with partners where we can do as much good as possible. And we're looking out over the next 5 to 7 years. So, for example, we donated money to the ocean cleanup to remove microplastics from the oceans. We've donated money to Convoy of Hope and Red Cross so we can help people in need. We've had this drone program, which is 4 years now this month, where we're intending to use this drone technology for search and rescue missions, delivery of medical goods, and so forth. And so because we're growing so rapidly and we're very quickly approaching becoming a billion-dollar company, I want to think about what is the lasting impact that we want to have on people and also for the planet. And I've kind of come to the conclusion that given everything that's happening in society with AI and robotics and some of the enormous changes that will occur in the coming years, there's two things that I think would be really important for me to do now for the business. The first one is to make LifeWave a multi-generational company. So invent, develop, and put out to market new technologies that make this company sustainable 10, 20, 30 years into the future. And that technology is going to be, in addition to the light therapy products, which we have another 7 years to release.
Wait a minute. I want to clarify something you just said. Do you mean you have 7 more years of products lined up that are just waiting?
Yes. These are technologies that exist. Some of them are patented, some of them we haven't. And it's a matter of putting them into manufacturing and getting them out to market. But it'll be like the water machine, where the area that I really want to focus on now is releasing light inside the body. So both topical application of light, but release of light inside the body. And we're finding some truly incredible things, which is essentially, if I were to summarize it, it's the ability to take light and direct it to a specific part of the body to accelerate healing in the kidneys, the liver, the brain, wherever it's needed. That's the future of where we're going with light therapy. On the other side, on the business opportunity, I've spent years in power generation, some professionally and then some as a hobby. And the drone that we have has a completely novel power generation system. And so the plan is that over the next 5 years or so, we would adapt that technology to power people's homes. It's a completely new form of green energy. So you would have this device, it would generate 20 kilowatts, and it would power your home, charge your electric vehicle, and you'd have enough power left over to sell back to the grid to earn an income. And those are going to be major projects that we'll have in the coming 5-7 years. And then, in the process, in addition to that being great for business, there's an enormous number of benefits that occur for any country that would implement this. It decentralizes the grid for power generation, so that makes it less susceptible to terrorism. In the event of emergencies like hurricanes, when the grid is down, people still have power, they can still get around. And it's completely clean, so we can get away from burning coal and nuclear. So this is where I want to take things.
That's incredibly exciting. And I think most people don't realize that the energy grid here in the United States, even which has purportedly excellent infrastructure, it's estimated that if the grid ever went down for a prolonged period of time, 90% of Americans would perish from privation, which is really sobering, and part of why this sort of technology is essential for really stability and security. So I'm excited that's where we're headed. It took you 20 years to get to where you are and to create the kind of exponential growth LifeWave's now experiencing. What do you think was key in creating that exponential growth? Gotta
have the Lord. And nothing happens without God. I think I would say I'm delighted that the first 15 years were as difficult as they were. It was, we spent 15 years hovering between 20 and $40 million a year in business. So, we were successful and had a nice business, but we could never kind of break out of that. And there was a lot of infrastructure that we needed to build, a lot of things that we weren't doing right that we had to correct. And if we hadn't had that 15 years to develop a foundation, we never would have been able to have the success that we have today and have that platform. So I'm incredibly grateful that we went through those really difficult times and had the time to build the infrastructure. It was a true blessing.
And remind me, when did you switch to the network marketing model?
We've always been network marketing.
Oh, it was straight from the beginning.
Yeah,
Okay.
straight from the beginning. 2002, the company started, and then 2004, we began sales. So we've always been a network marketing company.
Understood. Okay. This is, from what I can see, one of the greatest wealth building opportunities for people, everyday people, practitioners, anyone who's interested in jumping in and getting involved with the company and join so you can represent the products and get them at a wholesale price. And I've been wanting to ask you, why did you decide to create such a generous compensation plan for your distributors?
That happened from the very beginning because I didn't really know very much about network marketing. I knew about the power of it just from personal experiences. But I couldn't have told you back in 2003 what a compensation plan was or a binary or anything like that. So, I began talking to people about it, trying to learn about it. And the thought that entered my mind is we have, and now this is going back in the context of 2004, we have a product with only a few studies. Nobody knows who I am. This is completely new science. It's really out there compared to what was in mainstream back then. So I think we need to give people an enormous financial incentive to go and invest and put their time into building the business. And, we have about a 52% payout. And company like Herbalife, I think, is down around 37%. Other network marketing companies around 43%. So this was way on the generous side. But I wouldn't have changed a thing because it's the fact that we were so generous with the payout has definitely contributed to our longevity. No question about it.
I think it's very wise. I think what I see happening and why network marketing has such a negative reputation is that people are taking products that are not particularly good. They are using knockoff ingredients that are not premium in quality. And so it's a race to the bottom, and you have no money to pay distributors with. And so then they just resort to the kind of unethical behavior that has given it a negative reputation. And frankly, the fact that the product at LifeWave is as good as it is and gives people the results it gives them, while also compensating the people who are working to represent the product effectively and appropriately, is why I'm here. And so I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be working with you on this project.
Oh, thank you. Another way to look at it, I kind of think of this as a sports team, right? So if I'm the owner of the sports team, you would pay, like, let's say a basketball team, you might pay 50% of your revenues out to the athletes. And I know the owners often complain. It's like, they're the ones that are bringing people in. You want to see LeBron James and, back in the day, Michael Jordan and so forth. So you better be compensating them appropriately. So I kind of look at it that way, is that I don't have a company without our brand partners. So this has to be a symbiotic relationship. We've all got to win in this and be a family. So I'm grateful that we have the payout that we do.
Absolutely. And my last question to you today, Amway, perhaps the most well-known network marketing company in existence and the original, so to speak, has been stuck at $8 billion for 10 to 15 years. What do you intend to do differently for LifeWave to maintain its forward momentum and exponential growth for longer than that?
Innovation. I happened to meet the CFO of Amway back in September, and they were excited about having 2% growth in 2024 over 2023, and they were hoping they could have another 2% growth in 2025. And when you're at $8 billion a year, 2% is a lot of money, but the industry is going through really a cataclysmic change right now, and many companies like Beachbody, Rodan and Fields, they've had to drop out of the channel, and they're looking at, well, what new product can I introduce? How can I change my compensation plan? They're looking at these things and they're not thinking about innovation the same way that LifeWave is. So our approach to this is, and what got us here, is to develop new technology that hasn't existed before, turn that into products, validate it with clinical studies, patent it to make it exclusive, and then make it exclusive to LifeWave. That's the formula. So that when we come out with a new product, let's say in this case in July, it's going to be the water machine, we already have 6 clinical studies that we've completed. So when we go to the market, we can be proud of that and share those clinical studies with our field. It's already patented and it's already going to be exclusive. We're not going to be private labeling this product to any other companies, and we'll distribute it globally. So, and of course, there's nothing else like it, and it works immediately. So this has worked for us, and that's going to be the pattern that we follow in the coming years. So when we have, for example, all right, I'll tell you this. When we have, for example, a skincare system, we're going to have a new type of light therapy for the skin. And we don't simply want to reduce the appearance of lines and wrinkles. We want to create younger, healthier skin. So we want to be bringing to market products based on this technology that are producing effects that you can't get anyplace else, and they enrich people's lives.
Absolutely. It makes perfect sense. I'm so glad you're running the company this way. I would not be involved if it weren't for the fact that I think your leadership is everything I could have asked for.
Ah, thank you. That's really kind of you to say.